Working out is something that we can all do, even if we don't have the opportunity to get to a gym or to have much access to fancy equipment. Working out to have a healthy body and a healthy mind is something that we just need to commit to by taking some time out of our day and getting active. We can do this in our homes. This is an example. I wanted to give you some ideas of how you could work out on a regular basis. Every workout that we do is going to start out with some basic stretches, some calisthenics. We just want to get the body warmed up. So it's important to start with gentle movements and then get more vigorous as our workout progresses. No matter where we're starting from, we can adapt our workout to allow us the opportunity to improve without injury. So always make sure that you get started gently and thoroughly in just getting your joints and your moving in your body. So your neck, your shoulders, your wrists, your hips, your knees, your ankles, you just want to get moving. Today's workout, I'm going to be just showing examples of the types of exercises that you could do yourself at home. This is just a routine that I threw together with, honestly, without too much thought. It's very representative of the kind of workout that I typically do. I get started with some stretching. I like to make sure that I get my torso, my hips, my knees all nicely warm. Because of my background in martial arts, I do a lot of torquing type motions, and that's why I'm doing this type of a warm-up. Now, for you, when you're working out, suit this to your needs, but you want to, do some of these stretches and some of the beginning calisthenics, and you want to pick a number and set a timer, and just do them by the timer. For the initial exercises, you could pick like the knee rotations or the arm circles. Pick a number of repetitions. So you might say, I'm going to do it for 10 or 20 repetitions for each exercise, and that's fine. When you get onto some of the calisthenics, pick a time. For jumping jacks, for instance, you may just want to do 60 seconds of jumping jacks. When you do running in place, you may want to do that for another 60 seconds. Pick a time interval and work out for that interval. It's alright to rest in between exercises, but rest briefly. Don't let yourself get cold in between your exercises. When it comes to jogging in place, running in place, there's a couple of different variations. You can do a standard jog in place. Another variation will be to get your knees and feet out wide like you're straddling a horse, and or maybe like you do in a country dance. It may look a little bit silly, but it is a variation that you can work on. Another alternative is to kick your heels up to your butt, and you can do this. You can do all three of these variations and do about 3 minutes worth of calisthenics. Alright, you don't want to neglect your upper body, so if you're going to be doing some strength training particularly, make sure you get a good stretch. Triceps, shoulders, chest if you're going to be working on your chest or your back. You have lots of opportunities to work out. When I do these combination triceps, shoulders stretches, I do also rotate my wrists. We're going to be doing some push-ups later, and when we do those push-ups, we want to make sure that we don't have too tight of a wrist. Alright, going on from the upper body, we're going to stretch out the lower body a little bit. This is just stretching to try to prevent injury. We're not stretching to increase our range of motion at this point in the workout. I do suggest that once you're done working out, you go back and stretch again, and this time stretch a little bit longer and try to exceed your regular range of motion. That's where you're going to get gains in your flexibility. It's after you finish working out, then go back and stretch again. And you can always go a little bit deeper. Just because we are working on a basic stretch doesn't mean we don't have the opportunity to go into a deep stretch. You want to go to your limits and make some effort when you stretch. Now there's variants on the hurdler stretch. The standing hurdler stretch, this is a variant on the standing hurdler. Basically I'm getting into a deep, almost like a deep lunge, and just getting those legs and hips, getting the adductors, getting everything nice and stretched out. And as always, you want to stretch both sides of your body. It's okay to bounce a little bit, but you don't want to bounce too violently. You also don't want to do too much ballistic stretching at the beginning of your workout. Not until you're nice and warmed up. Okay. Now with the standing quadricep stretch, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just stand in place and keep your balance and go ahead and grab onto your foot. You want to keep that quadricep, or the upper portion of your leg, pointed straight up and down, so your knees should be pointed straight down. Stand tall with your chest out. Now, if you have difficulty keeping your balance, you can always give yourself some help. Stand next to a wall, stand next to a little brother or little sister, or you can grab a stool and just place your hand on the stool just for a little bit of extra support. With any of these standing stretches, whether it's a quadricep stretch, whether it's bend over and grab your ankles, you want to hold that stretch for a count of about 15 to 30 seconds at a minimum. Alright, I like to work out big muscles, so I like to start out with some squats when I get into the strength routine. Squats are just body weight squats. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to exhale on my way down and inhale on my way up. It's the opposite of what we would normally do. Some people call this a Hindu squat. And of course there are variations on the squat. The jumping squat, as you come up, just leave the ground. You don't have to jump too high. If you have space, you can jump a little bit higher. For my case, I don't want to hit my head on the ceiling. Then I do a wide jumping squat. Basically, here, my feet are about 2.5 shoulder widths apart, and I bend my knees, and I'm just going to hop. You can add a kick. If you add a kick to your squat, make sure you alternate legs. You want to go down, come up and kick one leg, and then switch. With these ones, this is still going to be considered like a calisthenic. Just do it for 60 seconds, take a break, and then do your next exercise. Each of these moving exercises you can do for 60 seconds, and then switch and do 60 seconds on the other side. You don't have to try to kick through the ceiling here, just keep it moving. If you've got that stool, you can grab that again, and you can do these swing kicks. Again, it's just, this is more of a stretch, more of a ballistic stretch, and you can do this to the rear, you can do it to the side, or even to the front. This is an example to the rear. Now squat thrusts or burpees, you can do these ones, and this one I don't like to do as a timed exercise. I do like to pick a number of reps and go with it. It's good to go with 15 to 20 reps, and then as you get more advanced you can add on, so you can do 30, 40, or even 50 reps. But when you're getting started, you want to do about 15 to 20 reps. And then when you add the push-up, just add one push-up. Again, as you get stronger, you can add multiple push-ups for each rep. Okay, this is just going to be a jab, right cross, jab, left cross combination. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the 2 punches, front hand, rear hand, and then switch my legs. As I switch my legs, I pull the leg back, I torque my hips, and you just want to get it going. Go for 60 seconds. Okay, for this exercise, I'm going to kick with my back leg. When I finish the kick, I'm going to set my kicking leg down next to my non-kicking leg, and then step back with my non-kicking leg so that I switch from the right leg in front to the left leg in front. Just going to go back and forth. And as you get a little bit more proficient with the movement, kick faster. Again, go for about 60 seconds, take your break, and then you can do it for another 60 seconds if you like. In addition to the front kick, you can also do this exercise with round kicks, with crescent kicks, with axe kicks, pretty much any kick. So if you have any experience with kicks, then you can do continual kicking exercises. Again, we're not looking for, trying to knock anybody out with these kicks right now. We're just getting the movement. And here's a variation of how you can kick and then step through to the other direction. And especially if you don't have a whole lot of room, there's variants that you can do to kick. When you come back to doing push-ups, there's all kind of push-ups. The basic push-up, you want to try to get a full range of motion on those push-ups, but you can also do narrow push-ups, or here's an example of a wide hand push-up. Get those hands out outside of the shoulders and do your push-ups. And when you're getting started, try to do about 10 to 15 push-ups per set and do a couple sets for each exercise. Again, as you get stronger, you can do more. A couple variations to make it more difficult. You can raise one leg in the air while you do your push-ups. You can put your feet up on a chair so that your feet are higher than your shoulders. Lots of ways you can make a push-up harder. To work your core, try doing planks. Regular planks, you want to tighten up your entire core, your abs, tighten up your glutes. Or if you go to your side, when you do a side plank, you're going to really concentrate on those obliques and making sure that your hip stays high. Don't let the hip sag down low. Here you're going to see on the side plank, if you let your hip sag down low, like that, then you're not doing the exercise correctly. Get the hip up, point it towards the ceiling. You may only be able to hold a plank for about 15 to 20 seconds. If that's the case, work up. You want to try to get a plank up to around a minute or longer to get a real good workout. For abs, you can be creative. Again, pick a number of reps. I like to do, personally for abs, around 50 to 60 reps of each exercise, but you can pick a number of reps. Curl-ups, sit-ups, leg raises. When you do the leg raises, keep the head off the ground. Same thing with the flutter kick. Keep that head off the ground as you alternate left and right and kick those legs up. Keep the knees straight throughout the range of motion for those leg raises. Here's a piece of equipment you can use. Just grab a chair and do chair dips. When you do the chair dips, you want to go down until your upper arms are parallel to the ground and then straight up. Variations on the chair dip include just bringing the legs until your knees are bent. If you do that, it becomes easier. Again, just until you build up enough strength. You can stand up to do a curl press combo. All you're going to do is a bicep curl and then turn over and do a shoulder press. Come back down and repeat the whole thing. You want to do 8 to 10 reps if you're trying to build size. If you're looking to get a little bit leaner, 12 to 15 reps. And then you want to do about 3 to 4 sets of this exercise. I'm sitting in a chair only because I have a low ceiling where I'm working out and I don't want to punch through the ceiling. And you don't have to pick real heavy weights here. Here I'm only using about 20-pound dumbbells. But after you do 3 to 4 sets of it, you will definitely feel it. Here's another exercise you can do with the chair, specifically because of the chair. It's a rear delt row. You're going to bend over, knees close together, and just like you're doing a lateral raise, but you're going to pick the weights up more towards the middle of your back. Same thing, 8 to 10 reps, 12 to 15 reps, 3 to 4 sets. You can always do the alternating dumbbell curls or pick your exercise, but usually when I'm working out at home, I'm going to pick 3 to 4 exercises with the dumbbells. I'm going to pick a handful of bodyweight exercises and a bunch of calisthenics. And at the end of the day, we're going to work out for, usually around 40 minutes or so. Here I'm going to finish up with some heavy pants. This is just going to be like a lat raise or a bent over row that we're going to do. Pick the pants up, put them down. Pick the pants up, put them down. Alright everybody, that was a little introduction to some of the ideas and the ways that you can work out at home with very little equipment. You just need a chair, you need some space, and a pair of dumbbells. So, as a reminder, when you're working out, you do have to push yourself, you have to commit to being more fit. But I guarantee you, I promise you, if you make that commitment, if you take the time, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week, and you may start off 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, you will have a healthier body, which will give you a better outlook on life, and you'll be happier. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for happiness. So, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and hopefully this gave you some ideas. So, with that, we will end that there, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. See ya!